5-hole hitter, will lead off. We'll be right back here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City. Well, looks like we have a new pitcher on the mound again for the Hardhats. And if I caught the license plate correctly there, that is Jack Sorensen, who has moved from the DH position to the mound. So Dylan Ritchie also lasts an inning, also gives up a run, and does so with no hits allowed. But he did hit 2 batters and struck out 1. And he did all of that on 18 pitches. So now Jack Sorensen comes up for the Hardhats. The last time that he saw some action on the mound was back in the first game of doubleheader number 2 that was played on Sunday. He went 3 innings, allowed 5 runs on 4 hits, struck out 3, walked 3, and did all of it on 53 pitches. Sorensen batting on the game is 1 for 3 with a bases-clearing RBI double, and that came all the way back in the top half of the third. So Sorensen will face Hester, Powell, and Langdon. And now their positions have changed, so we can recap the fun game of musical chairs that we just had. So for those that were trying to score along with us on who moved where in the Gillette defensive alignment, Gabe Conklin moved from left to pitcher. Kubacher moved from pitcher to catcher. Harris moved from catcher to first. Powell moved from first to third. Langdon moved from third to second. And Hughes moved from second to left. Try saying all of that 5 times fast. Granted, the Gillette defensive alignment at this point means nothing because the Hardhats are on the field, but just for the sake of my sanity, I had to recap all of that. So the Hardhats now come to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Jack Sorensen on the mound, the 5th pitcher now for Post 22. And now, it looks like Sorensen's ready to go. So we'll see how many more substitutions we have from Gillette as we go to this bottom half of the 6th. So through 5.5, stats across the board for the Hardhats, it's 8 runs on 6 hits with 1 blemish on defense. On the other side for Gillette, it's 4 runs on 5 hits with no errors. Hester now takes his position in the right-handed batter's box. He will face the righty Jack Sorensen. Hester on the ball game, 1 for 1 with a single, a hit by pitch, and a run scored. His name sounds familiar because he was at bat to end the bottom half of the 5th, but Joseph Harris was caught stealing the 2nd. So Hester comes back up. His first pitch is hit right back up the middle. Wall with the stop at second. Throw to first. He's in time. Great play by Tommy Wall. 1 up, 1 down will bring us to Mason Powell, who has moved from first to third. In this crazy game of musical chairs Gillette pulled off in the top half of this inning. Powell on the ball game, 0 for 2, grounded into a double play, also grounded into a fielder's choice to first. First pitch is a swing and a miss. No balls and a strike the count here to the gentleman now patrolling the hot corner for Gillette on defense. On deck, Coulter Langdon, he moved from the hot corner to second. He's 1 for 1 with a ribby single and a walk. Next pitch, fastball, just missed low. And the count evens at a ball and a strike. So now, here comes the 1-1 from Sorensen. And he deals. High and inside, 2 balls and a strike. Bottom half of the 6th inning, Hardhats looking to protect an 8-4 lead. Credit Gillette, they've scored in 3 consecutive innings, 2 runs, 1 run, and 1 run, respectively, in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Next pitch, fastball rides upstairs, 3-1 now the count to Powell, with Coulter Langdon patiently waiting in the on-deck circle. Well, technically, he's on the warning track of foul territory, but point stands. He's warming up. 3-1. Swung on, and it's hit to short. Bowman to his right makes the stop. Throw to first across his body is low, but it's in time. Great recovery by Cooper. Bowman had to move to his right on a slow roller. Got the throw off, and credit Will Moore. That took a skip, and he was able to glove it. So 2 up, 2 down. We'll bring up Coulter Langdon, who is 0 for 2 on the ballgame. It looks like our home plate umpire hearing a query from Nate Perleyberg, the head coach of Gillette. I don't believe anything comes of it, so we play on. So should Langdon get on the base path safely, on deck is Kubacher. First pitch. Swung on and hit high in the air. Shallow left center. Solano's the one tracking it. He calls for it. He makes the catch, and that's going to end the inning. So an F8 in the scorebook ends the bottom half of the 6th. It's a 1-2-3 inning on defense for the Hardhats, which means no runs, hits, errors, or anybody left on base. At the end of 6 innings, the Hardhats still have their 8-4 lead intact. We'll be right back with Tom here in the top of the 7th, here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball, here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Okay, top half of the 7th inning now, and it's 8-4, Post 22 leading. Post 22 with a run in the first inning, 6 runs in the third inning. They took a 7-0 lead. Gillette came back with 2 in the third to make it 7-2. A run in the fourth for Gillette made it 7-3. Each team scored a run in the fifth, and it's 8-4, Post 22 as we head to the 7th. And Gabe Conklin on the mound for Gillette. Timmy Paris, Eric Petrie, and Will Moore lead off for Rapid City here in the top of the 7th. Paris with a ground out in the first inning that produced a run. A 2-run double in the third inning to left field, and he flied to right in the 5th. Timmy with 1 hit in 3 at-bats, 3 RBIs, giving him 12 on the season now to lead the team. And Conklin's first pitch is outside for ball 1.
Crazy change to this defensive alignment for Gillette here, Tom, that came back in the other inning.
And the pitch is down low for a ball, 2-0.
So Gabe Conklin's on the mound. Kubacher, who he took over for, went behind the plate to catch. Harris, who was catching, went to first. Powell, who was at first, went to third.
There's a fly ball to right field again. Dunn is going back. He's still going back. He's in front of the fence, and he can't come up with the ball as Paris will go to second base. So Timmy Paris ends up at second to start the top of the 7th inning here. And they're going to charge an error on the right fielder, Dunn. It'll be a 2-base error.
And it looks like Connor King is now into bat.
King batting for Petrie and takes a pitch inside for ball 1. Connor's had 7 at-bats on the year, 2 hits, both singles, 2 RBIs. Left-handed batter bluffs a bunt, pitch tails outside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Going back to the musical chairs on Gillette's defense, Langdon, who was playing third, went to second. Hughes, who was playing second, went to left, and then it comes back to Conklin was playing left, is now pitching. Fun times had by all.
And a strike on the outside corner. Two and one now on Connor King. Here's the pitch. He bunts it towards third. That's a great bunt. And it won't anything Conklin can do about it. Bunt single for Connor King. Perfectly placed down the third baseline.
You're absolutely right, Tom. You could not have scripted that any better. That was perfectly executed, perfectly dropped, perfectly placed.
Paris advancing to third. 7th hit of the game for post 22, and it brings up Will Moore. Popped to short in the first, or his first at bat, then had a sacrifice fly and an RBI in the third. A double to left, and a run scored his last at bat, and he pops this one up. Coming into foul territory is Harris. He's in the first base coach's box and makes the catch. Moore going after that first pitch, fouls out to Harris at first base.
Unfortunate to see from Will coming off of that double, too. Big extra base hits like that fill you with so much confidence as a batter, so Will, credit him. He got aggressive, just really got under that one, though.
Cooper Bowman has been called out on strikes, hit by a pitch and scored a run in the third, then tripled to center and drove in a run in the fifth. And the pitch is a strike over the inside corner. Harris at third, King at first, one out. Here's the pitch. Swung on, a ground ball, base hit through the hole to left. Paris scores, stopping at second is King. Cooper Bowman with his second RBI of the game, a ground ball single into left field. Cooper now with 7 RBIs on the season. 8 hits for post 22, and they take a 9-4 lead here in the 7th inning.
Great hit by Bowman, also well placed, obviously short and second and double play depth. It widens that gap to the left side of the infield, and Bowman, a great single right in the hole.
Here's Jack Sorensen. Jack is 1 for 3 tonight and takes a pitch outside, ball one. He has lined out to right, had a bases clearing double to left center field in the 3rd inning, and lined out to left in the 5th. So he's hit the ball well 3 times. Runners go. No, they have a pickoff at second, but nobody was covering, and the runner took off for third, and making it safely is King.
It was good base running by Connor King. That was great base running. By the time Conklin turned around to throw the ball to second, he was almost probably 10 feet from the bag. So even if they tried to make the play at third, it probably would have forced an error.
Key for the pitcher in that play is just to step off the rubber. There goes the runner from first, and he'll steal second. So King at third, Bowman at second. And a 1-ball count on Jack Sorensen. Boy, Jack's got chances for more RBIs here. That's a strike at the letters. 2 balls and 1 strike. Infield comes up about halfway now at second and short. And a ground ball hit the second. The runner's going to score. Here's the throw to first for the out. So Sorensen gets his 4th RBI of the game. And did something happen at first? Did they drop the ball? In the score comes King to make it 10-4. And it's an error allowing Sorensen to reach. He'll still get an RBI as the run was going to score. Bowman ends up at third. So 10-4, post 22 here in the top of the 7th.
Well, the big key there for Sorensen was pulling a page out of Joe Madden's playbook for the Chicago Cubs. His biggest mantra is respect 90. You've got 90 feet in front of you, you run. And Sorensen obviously trying to make the play, a weak hit to second, but gets to first. He respected 90. He went full blast, and I guess the Gillette first baseman just dropped the ball. But, yeah, it was all they're saying he's off the bag. The throw was off the bag, but credit Sorensen for still trucking through.
Tommy Wall up and takes a fastball high. Wall has a bunt single and a run scored. He's lined out to third and lined out to right. So a 10-4 post-22 lead here in the top of the 7th as Wall swings and lifts a foul out of play down the right field line. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Unfortunate for Gillette because if they don't commit that error, then they're possibly looking at Tommy Wall being the last out of this inning. Now they still have to get 2. And granted, with Sorensen on first, the double play ball is still in effect to end the inning, but it's just another miscue that they can't afford at this point.
Well, they had the catcher playing first base. Sometimes your footwork around the bag isn't great when you don't play it a lot. There's a drive into left center field, and that's going to be in for extra bases. Tommy Wall is going to score Cooper Bowman. Jack Sorensen is racing around third to score. It's a 2-run double for Tommy Wall.
What a great hit by Tommy Wall, showcasing that he really does have power. He's not the biggest guy in the post-22 lineup, but he can crank it. And what a very great piece of hitting there by Tommy Wall. Drove in both, which was incredibly crucial to this whole scenario. So now the Hardhats have him on second, and it looks like there's going to be another pitching change.
Tommy's first double of the season. He has a couple of RBIs, giving him now 6 on the year. And a new pitcher is coming on for Gillette here.
We'll take a quick recess, tabulate some numbers. We'll be right back in 30 seconds here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Well, errors have really played a huge part of this inning. 2 of them for the Gillette Rough Riders. Rapid City with 4 runs in. They've had 3 hits in the inning, but 2 very costly errors by Gillette. 12-4 post-22 leading. They have a runner at second in Tommy Wall and Carter Deming coming up. Carter's been hit by a pitch, scored a run in the third. He's grounded out to short and drew a base on balls his last at bat in the 6th. Jordan Evans, the new pitcher for Gillette, is a right-hander. And the pitch is a breaking ball low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Conklin went an inning in the third, allowed 4 runs, all of them earned on 3 hits. And he is not responsible. I'm sorry, he is responsible for Tommy Wall. He allowed 4 runs, 3 of them were earned. Excuse me.
Here's the set by Evans and his pitch. Breaking ball drops in for a strike. 1-1 on Carter. Riley McSherry scheduled to hit next. Evans looks back at second, turns, and nobody covering the base. Now Evans ready again. Delivers here to Deming, and a fastball misses outside. 2-1 on Carter.
Looks like our infield umpire is having a word here with Evans. Must be something footwork related with his rubber. Must have been dangerously close to a balk.
And a pickoff play at second was thrown, and you know how much I love that play, Mark. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul out of play to the right.
It's your favorite, right?
2 balls and 2 strikes.
You just love it when the pitcher only focuses on the runner on the base path. Talking about it in the hotel last week in Montana. You were so fired up about it.
What went on in Montana stays in Montana. High foul out of play down the right field line.
I didn't know Montana was so prestigious to have that phrase used in the state.
2 balls and 2 strikes. That's big sky country.
It's also big flat land country, too.
And a few Rockies thrown in there. Here's the pitch. Runner going to third. The pitch is a strike, and the throw to third is not in time, but called out on strikes is Carter Deming. Breaking ball up around the letters. Wall steals third. 2 down, and Riley McSherry up. Riley has an infield hit, a walk, a fly ball to right center, and he's bounced into a short to second fourth. So he's 1 for 3 tonight. He has scored 2 runs. He has a stolen base. And the pitch. Breaking ball too high, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the set and the pitch. And a strike on the outside edge. 1-1 on McSherry. Runner at third. That's Tommy Wall with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. 4 runs in for post 22. They lead Gillette 12-4. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball hit right back up the middle, and it goes on into center field for a run-scoring single for McSherry. So it's 13-4 post 22. A hot shot right back through the box. McSherry with his 4th RBI. Post 22 with 10 hits now in the game.
It's a good piece of hitting by McSherry, and that's been a running trend for him. He really likes hitting those balls right back up the middle. Very tough to field, and obviously drove in a run there, so good hit.
Here's Solano up, and he takes a pitch low and inside. If you had asked me a quiz question right now, post 22's leading 13-4. They've got 10 hits. What player doesn't have a hit? I would not have guessed Zach Solano. 0 for 4, and Zach swings and fouls it off to the right. He has struck out twice, flied to right center, popped to third.
I would have taken myself having no hits over him, to be perfectly honest.
Well, we all would have, but you weren't in the pool of names.
I wasn't.
Here's the set and the pitch. There's a hard ground ball right through the second baseman, Langdon, into right center field. And on his way to third is McSherry on the error. The 3rd error of the inning.
Such a shame for Zach, too. He gets on base, and then he doesn't get credit with what was a well-hit ball. Instead, it's an E4 in the book. So, unfortunate for Zach. But, hey, at least he's on the base path if there's anything to if there's any silver lining to take out of it. Now it's men on the corners here for Timmy Paris.
So, Timmy reached on an error to start this inning by the right fielder, Dunn. And he hits a high fly ball in the center field. Drifting back is Berkmeyer. He's got a beat on it out there and makes the catch. Post 22 had a chance there to go ahead by 10 runs, but can't do it. They do score 5 in the inning. There were 4 hits, 3 Gillette errors, and 2 men left on base. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Post 22, 13. The Gillette Rough Riders 4, and you're listening to Post 22 Baseball on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Coke Zero goes with things like this. This. And this. Coke Zero tastes like this.
He shoots! He scores!
It sounds like this. It feels like this. So when the game is on, try it with this. Coke Zero. Real Coca-Cola taste. 0 calories, 0 sugar.
Well, Jack Sorensen's relief appearance is done after 1 inning and just 7 pitches, in which Sorensen went 1, 2, and 3. Didn't allow a hit, a run, nor walks, nor strikeouts. And now Will Moore takes over on the mound for the Hardhats. And because he is vacating the first base position, that means Coach Messer and Coach Hers have to stick someone over there, and they have decided that Luke Ferdinand is the gentleman tasked with defending first base. Not nearly a game of musical chairs like Gillette had the other inning. Just a simple pitcher at first base swap. But Will Moore will now face 8, 9, and 1 in the Gillette order, and that will start with Josh Kubacher, the pitcher turned catcher, followed by Gabe Conklin, the left fielder turned pitcher. I believe, though, he is out of the game for Jordan Evans taking over. So he will bat in his spot.
Solano's gone to right field, too, here.
Which means Connor King is in center.
So Moore into his windup. His first pitch is lined. Whoa! And a catch by Carter Deming, diving towards the foul line to backhand that line drive off the bat of the Gillette hitter. My goodness.
Josh Kubacher thought he had extra bases on that. And Carter Deming comes out of nowhere with a dive across his body to get the out. So now here comes Evans.
How many plays have we seen Bowman and Deming make? Here's a line drive to center right at Connor King for out number 2 as Jordan Evans lines out the center.
Wow.
Will Moore, by the way, his third appearance, 2 wins, no losses. In 6 innings so far, going into this appearance, only 4 hits and a run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. ERA of 1.17 through 6 innings. Here's Josh Hughes, the left fielder, up, takes the pitch down in the dirt for ball 1. I think if you ask me to really pinpoint one thing that's really just impressed me so much about post 22 is there's a looping line drive single to center for Hughes. So with 2 outs, a soft line drive single off Moore puts a runner at first with 2 outs and brings up Wyatt Dunn, the right fielder. He's a switch hitter. Pitch swung on, a line drive caught by Bowman, diving to his left knee high, and that retires the side. What I was going to say was the post-22 defense to me is far and away, especially the infield defense, the story of this young season, 6 games in. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We head to the 8th inning now. It's 13-4. Post-22 has the lead. Mark will be behind the mic once again when we return on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Seven full innings have been played here in Gillette, and the post-22 Hardhats now have a commanding 13-4 lead after 7 full innings of play. Stats across the board, the Hardhats in the driver's seat, 13 runs, 10 hits, 1 blemish on defense. For Gillette, it's 4 runs on 6 hits and 3 mistakes on defense. The Hardhats will come back with Connor King leading off, taking over for Eric Petrie, followed by Will Moore and Cooper Bowman. With Luke Ferdinand inserted at first base, he will take over in Jack Sorensen's DH spot, should he get the chance to come up to the plate. He's 4th due up in this inning, if that's the case. So King to lead off, followed by Moore and Bowman. King, the lefty, will face against Jordan Evans. Came into the game to relieve Gabe Conklin. Top of the 8th. First pitch to King. Misses low, and he starts off 1-0. Will Moore, the tall right-handed hitter in the on-deck circle. 1-0, swung on, and that is cranked to right. That ball's got some distance on it. Dunn on the run, and he can't make the play. King turns on his Jets. He's at second, standing up. That looked like a very tough catch to make. So King stands on second to lead off the top half of the eighth, and it looks like they're going to give him credit for what could be a hit. That's a double. So a leadoff double for King, and now here comes Will Moore. Moore in this game has a sac fly RBI, also has a double and a run scored. He is 1 for 3. First pitch. Swung on, and that's hit high in the air to right field. Dunn is tracking. He is on the run, and he makes a great sliding catch. But that allows King to take third, and now he's going home. There's going to be a play at the plate, and the throw is not in time. So it's another RBI for Will Moore as Connor King comes all the way from second. And the Hardhats now have a 14-4 lead.
If I was Gillette, I'd appeal at second base. I'm not saying that King left early, but I think they are going to appeal at second.
Well, if that's the case, that turns into a double play then. If that's the case. I think they're actually appealing the play at the plate.
Well, look where the shortstop's at. He's out at second base where you usually take a throw on an appeal play.
Nate Perleyberg not happy with what's transpired. It looks like the ruling on the field stands. So 14-4 now, the Hardhats have the lead. And that brings up Cooper Bowman with 1 out. And the base is empty. Bowman 1 for 3, a strikeout, an RBI triple.
Yep, they appeal at second.
They throw it to second, and they're going to call him out.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my gut indication was that maybe there was. And now Nate Perleyberg just been ejected from the game. The home plate umpire has ejected Perleyberg. And I don't know why he got the call at second, so that disallows the run.
Wow.
So there's 2 outs and nobody on now. The score goes back to 13-4.
This is very interesting because, and like you said too, Tom, Perleyberg got his appeal right. Very surprised they're kicking him out of the game. He must be very animated, if that's the case.
Well, he's pretty frustrated. You could just tell by his body language with the way his team has played tonight. A lot of mistakes, a lot of errors.
Is there 2 down? Yes.
Yep, there's 2 outs. The score is 13-4.
Wow, so Connor King, who got on base with the double, is called out because he didn't tag up at second. And Moore does not get a sac fly RBI after all. So it's an F9-2-6 double play then. Wow. So 2 outs. 13-4 is now the score. With Cooper Bowman coming up, and now I think Mitch Masters is going to insert himself into this conversation. Now, Nate Perleyberg's already been kicked out. Hopefully that doesn't happen to Coach Messer, but
you don't get kicked out when you're ahead by 8 runs or 9.
Look, we just saw a crazy sequence of events in which a run was taken off 20 minutes after the fact. I wouldn't put it past anyone at this point, to be honest. So now here comes Cooper Bowman. Nobody on the base path. 2 outs now. What was a 10-run lead is now 9.
Immediately as the play developed, Hester was over there, and he was motioning to his teammates. He wanted to have a challenge there at second base.
Bowman pops it up to shallow left, and he is called off by the left fielder, Josh Hughes. So it's an F7 in the book, and that will end the top half of the 8th. No runs, a hit, no errors, nobody left on the base path, and at the end of 7.5, the Hardhats still have their lead, but it is 13-4. We'll go to the bottom half of the eighth. 3, 4, and 5 due up in the order for Gillette. We'll be right back here in a few moments on the official radio home of Post 22 Hard Hats Baseball here on ESPN Radio Rapid City. Well, Tom and I were just joking off the air moments ago that we're going to have quite a messy scorecard from all of these substitutions that we've had in this game. We have even more to give you. Tommy Wall has now moved from second base to pitcher. Carter Deming has moved from third base to second, and making his season debut for the Hard Hats is longtime third baseman Justin Kramer, and I can't tell you how great it is to see number 14 back out on the field.
Justin going to school, getting back from college. Justin came up 2 years ago. I remember came up as a 15-year-old and got a lot of playing time. And certainly developed more, as you saw, Mark, over the last 2 years.
We definitely did. It was so great to see how clutch he became. First pitch from Wall. Fastball in there, strike one to Dylan Buckmeyer. 0-1 is starting count. Buckmeyer is 1 for 2 with a 2-run RBI single, reached on an error, also had an RBI groundout. Here comes the 0-1. Swung on it, missed, and quickly Tommy Wall's ahead 0-2 to Buckmeyer.
2 previous appearances for Tommy Wall, an inning and 2/3, 2 hits and a run, no walks, 2 strikeouts over an inning and 2/3.
1 pitch away from 3 on the season. Here comes the 0-2 from Wall. Just missed low and away, and the count goes to 1-2. It's Dylan Buckmeyer, followed by Joseph Harris, and then Austin Hester. Here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. 13-4, Hard Hats have the lead, looking to keep it that way. 1-2 from Wall. Missed low and away, and the count evens up 2-2. Yeah, I got to be honest with you here, Tom. My defensive alignment on both sides, it's just chicken scratch at this point.
That clear, huh?
Right. Looks like a doctor wrote out a prescription. 2-2. Swung on and ripped right back up the middle. Bowman can't make the stop. It actually goes off of his body and into center field. So Dylan Buckmeyer gets a leadoff single to start off the bottom half of the 8th, and that will bring up Joseph Harris. That was a tough play for Bowman to make. You've got to credit his defensive range, Tom. He almost got to that ball. And maybe he wouldn't have made the play at first because Buckmeyer has got a ton of speed, but at least he would have made one heck of a play trying to make it happen. So now Wall checks over at first. Takes his time. First pitch to Harris. Misses outside. Ball 1. Joseph Harris on the game. 0 for 2 with a strikeout. A line out to Cooper Bowman. He was also hit by a pitch. And when he was on the base path, he was caught stealing. That ended the bottom half of the 5th. 1-0 from Wall. That misses low and away. 2-0. Wall has a man on first and Buckmeyer to worry about. Leadoff single got him on the base path to start off this bottom half of the 8th. 13-4, Hard Hats have the lead. 2-0 from Wall. Just missed outside. 3 balls, no strikes. Austin Hester patiently waiting in the on-deck circle. 3-0 from Wall. Low and away, ball 4. So it's a 4-pitch walk from Wall. That puts men on first and second. Now Buckmeyer moving to scoring position, and that will bring up Austin Hester, who is 1 for 2 with a single. A ground out to second. He was also hit by a pitch and came around to score. So Will Moore Jack Sorensen and Zach Cholis all went under 10 pitches. Tommy Wall is at 8 right now and has no outs. First pitch, swung on and missed. 0-1 the count to Austin Hester. Seen a couple of very brief appearances from these pitchers. Tommy Wall, the 7th pitcher to take the mound for the Hardhats. He checks second. 0-1. Swung on and it's chopped to third. Kramer gets the stop to second, and he threw it over the head of Carter Deming. The ball goes out into right field. Solano has trouble corralling it. Everybody's going to advance a free base, and coming in to score is Dylan Buckmeyer. So what could have been a double play is not, and it is now men on first and second, and that will bring up Mason Powell. So an E5 charged. Not the kind of play that you want to see Justin Kramer make in his return back to the lineup. So it's men on first and second, still no one out here. And that will bring up Mason Powell, who is 0 for 3. Grounded into a double play, a fielder's choice, and a ground out to short. He looks at ball 1. Unfortunate, Tom, given the force, he just touched third and then go for second.
I thought he might do that, but it was a double play ball.
1-0 is fouled, and that brings the count to 1-1. You're exactly right. A total double play ball, either 5 unassisted 4 or 5-4-3 in some respect. Instead, we're writing E5. Wall checks the base path. 1-1. Swung on and fouled to the meshing in front of us, and the count goes to 1-2. Second time in this inning, Walls had a 2-strike count. It resulted in a hit the last time he had it. On deck, barring a substitution, Coulter Langdon. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wall deals. Swung on, and it's chopped into the hole on the left side and into left for a base hit. Everybody's going to advance 1 base. And so now Mason Powell gets a single, and the bases are juiced, bringing up Coulter Langdon. This inning got away from the Hardhats relatively quickly, Tom.
Well, we had the walk, then the error. Tell you throw a walk and an error around a couple of hits, and you're in asking for trouble.
Well, trouble now for Tommy Wall. It's bases loaded, still no one out here in the bottom of the 8th. And Wall deals from the stretch. Misses outside 1-0. Walk to strike ratio for Wall in this relief appearance at 15 pitches. Not looking that great. 1-0 the count here to Coulter Langdon. Bases are loaded, no one out. Next pitch. That's a called strike right at the letters, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Should a miraculous triple play not end this inning? Kubacher's on deck. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on and missed. 1-2. Good off speed from Wall. This is a very crucial moment for Tommy Wall. Another 2-strike count. He has the bases loaded. Nobody out. He needs this out at the plate. He takes a breath. 1-2. Swung on, and it's chopped foul. Third base line. And the count will hold at 1-2. That could have been very costly. That would have been fair. 13-5 now the Hardhats lead. Nobody out, bottom of the 8th. Bases are loaded. Tommy Wall against Coulter Langdon. Trying to get the punch out. Boy, could he use it right now. Here comes the 1-2. Just missed outside, and the count evens up deuces. 2-2 now the count from Wall. Every base around him on this diamond is occupied. 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him on the high fastball, and boy, was that a crucial out at the plate. 1 down, bases are still loaded. Here comes Josh Kubacher. 90 feet away from home to the left. Most threatening scorer is Harris. Austin Hester's on second, Mason Powell's on first. Kubacher has a ribby hit already. This one's hit too short. Bowman the stop to second to one to first for two. And he got him as Luke Ferdinand came down off the catch. Double play. 6-4-3 to end the inning and the jam, and the Hardhats get out of it, only allowing one run on the power of two hits with one defensive error charged and one man left on the base path in scoring position. And at the end of 8 full innings, it is still 13-5. Hardhats have the lead. Tom will close us out with the top of the ninth coming out in a few moments here on the official radio home of Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Radio, Rapid City.
Ninth inning is here. Post 22 has a 13-5 lead over Gillette. And the Rough Riders have a new pitcher. A left-hander has come out.
Keegan Johnner Schubert. No, that is not an ad for a law office.
What was the name again?
Keegan Johnner Schubert.
Keegan.
Johnner
Schubert.
Try saying that one 5 times fast.
So he'll face the lower third of the Post 22 batting order. Rapid City has pulled off 2 double plays in this game tonight. I think that brings their season total now to 6. We'll double check on that, but which would be an impressive total early in the season.
And it's good that they got the double play to end the inning, Tom, but it could have come much earlier in that inning. Very costly error at third.
First inning of play for Justin Kramer this year. You can see Justin just had a little bit too much on that throw to second as he threw it over Deming's head.
It'll come back with repetition.
Absolutely. Justin's a very good defensive player. Well, Luke Ferdinand leads it off for Post 22. Luke went in when Sorensen had to be taken out as Post 22 put the pitcher into the batting order. So left-handed batting, Luke Ferdinand up, and now we're still having some issues over there in the Gillette dugout. I think whether Nathan Perleyberg has left the dugout or not. Luke Ferdinand on the year, 4 hits for Luke in 15 at-bats, 267. All of his hits have been singles. He has 3 RBIs. So Ferdinand stepping in and takes a pitch inside, and guess what? Hit batsman number, what number is this, Mark?
I want to say that this
7?
is 7, yes. It's our first one in a while, that's for sure.
Oh, God, we got at least an inning and a half without one. So here's Tommy Wall. No, this is
that's
Kramer.
Todd Stevens, actually.
Who?
That's 17, Todd Stevens.
Todd Stevens. Yes. Stevens, a right-handed batter. Been in one game but no at-bats and takes a pitch high and outside. Ball 1.
I think he came in to relieve Timmy Paris in the Spearfish game, but because the game was so far out of hand at that point, he didn't get a chance to bat.
He rips one to third. Fielded by Powell. Throw to second is low and trickles into right field. There'll be runners at first and second. Another Gillette error.
That is an E5 in the scorebook on the low throw. So now men on first and second, nobody out.
So 2 on and nobody out for Post 22. And here's Carter Deming, who's now at second base.
And you look at how this game started here, Tom. Relatively clean defensively. All of a sudden, both teams have combined for 6 errors.
Carter is 0 for 2 in the game. Officially, he's also been hit by a pitch and walked. And Pitch is high for a ball. Keegan Johnner Schubert. Here's his pitch. That's a ball down low, and it's 2-0. Here's the set and the pitch. High and outside. 3-0 on Deming. Ferdinand was hit by a pitch to start the inning. Todd Stevens reached on an error. And now Deming has a count of 3 balls and no strikes. Here's the pitch on the way. Down low for ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So McSherry comes up. Riley's had a single in the first, a run scored. He had a single his last at bat in the 7th inning, drove in a run. He gets a ground ball to third. Fumbled again by Powell. No play, another error, and the run scores. Ferdinand scores, 5th error of the game for the Rough Riders. And Post 22 leads 14-5.
And now Zach Solano gets another chance in the batter's box.
He bounces one to short. This could be 2. They go to second for 1. On to first. Double play. Run scores. No RBI, though, as Stevens scores. You know, there's an interesting play, too. We talked about this up in Billings, where Tommy Wall made that double play. Just went ahead. He had plenty of time to touch second and throw to first without making that flip. Right there was an example where the shortstop, Hester, could have very easily just gone to second, stepped in the bag, and thrown to first. 2 down. And now coming up for Post 22, Drew Messer.
No, actually, it's Tanner Score.
What
wearing
number?
18 tonight.
Oh, Tanner Scores wearing 18?
Yes.
One hopper out to second, and the throw to first retires Score, and that retires Post 22 in the 9th inning. 2 runs in the inning for Post 22. You know how many hits they had?
0.
And there were 2 more Gillette errors, and Post 22 leaves a couple on. 15-5. We go to the bottom of the 9th. We'll try to get this one over from Gillette. Post 22 looking for their 5th win in 6 games. And Post 22 baseball exclusively on ESPN Radio, Rapid City. Looks like McSherry out there for Post 22.
Oh, that is right.
So he'll be what, the 8th pitcher tonight?
That is correct.
Who was the lucky guy that got to throw 2 innings tonight?
The lucky guy was Kyle McGuire, who started off this whole party.
Riley McSherry. So we have a new left fielder for Post 22.
Which, using my deductive reasoning, I believe is Todd Stevens.
Stevens in left field. McSherry has worked 3 2/3 innings this year, giving up 6 hits 2 runs, a walk, and a strikeout. And his pitch is a ball as we start the bottom of the 9th inning.
That is Keegan John or Schubert up.
Yep. And he swings and misses. Schubert in the number 9 spot in the batting order. 15 runs, 11 hits for post 22, 5 runs on 8 hits for Gillette. He slices a foul off to the left. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. A breaking ball in on him. Strikeout for McSherry. 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. And it brings up Josh Hughes. Nope, this isn't Hughes. This is
Britton Gray.
Gray. That's right. And he looks at a strike. This would be a very interesting box score to see in the newspaper. He would take up probably a quarter of the page. Check swing. The pitch gets away from the catcher, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. We've had 8 pitchers for post 22. We've had
5
for Gillette. So that's 13 just in the pitcher's box score. Swing and a miss. Gray has a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And 26 gentlemen have taken swings.
Here's the pitch. And it's low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Reminded me a little bit of spearfish tonight. It's cooling off. Here's the pitch. Chopper towards the hole. Here comes Bowman. Off balance throw to first base. Oh, and Moore couldn't quite hang on to it.
Ferdinand.
Ferdinand, that's right. Ferdinand at first. It'll be an infield hit.
It's okay, Tom. I probably would have messed that one up, too. Both teams had played musical chairs out there. It's just insane.
And here is Wyatt Dunn. He looks at a strike, and it's 0-1. Dunn is 1 for 4. He had a single and a run scored in the 3rd inning. He singled to center. Here's the pitch, and it's high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Dunn's a switch hitter, and the only hit that he has in 4 trips to the batter's box has been from the left side of the plate where he's hitting from now.
Here's McSherry taking the stretch. Delivers to the plate. Swung on a bouncing ball out to Deming at second. Flips to Bowman for 1. On to Ferdinand for the double. Oh, he couldn't hang on to the ball. 4-6 on the force out. Two outs, and Dylan Buckmeyer up the center fielder.
Tough to not turn that double play, Tom. You could have been right out of this, getting ready to warm up the bus, and now Riley McSherry has to face one more batter, and Buckmeyer.
Buckmeyer's had 2 hits, a couple of singles to center. He lifts a high fly ball down the right field line. A long run for Zach Solano into foul territory. He grabs it, and the game is over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left for Gillette in the bottom of the 9th inning. Rapid City post 22 wins by a score of 15-5 here over the Rough Riders. Back with the totals and highlights here on ESPN Radio Rapid City in just a moment. 15 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors for Post 22. They stranded 8, 5 runs, 9 hits, 5 errors, and 7 left for the Gillette Rough Riders. And when you look at this 9-inning game, and Post 22 winning their 5th game in 6 outings. Kyle McGuire was the starting pitcher, and that seems like so many years ago, but McGuire